Hello and welcome to MCPSS Athletics. My name is Calvin Chris, Athletic Director for Mobile County Public Schools. In the studio today we have from Bryant High School, softball coach Megan Wallace and baseball coach Daniel Fulton. But first let's get to the scoreboard. In boys basketball and 5A boys, Viger ended their season with a 69-50 loss to Faith Academy in the regional finals. Rhymes led the Wolves with 17 points. Viger finished 22-11 for the season. In girls basketball, LaFleur made the Final Four in Birmingham with a 68-54 win over the Blunt Leopards. Bradford led the way with 22 points, and Hill chipped in 18 for the Rattlers. LaFleur runs their record to 32-0 for the season. LaFleur will play Hartselle in Birmingham on Wednesday, March 2nd at 9 o'clock a.m. In 7A regional finals, Davidson lost to McGill-Tulane 59-39 to end their season. Robson led the Warriors with 17 points and 9 rebounds. Davies finished another solid season at 22-11. And that is it for this week's scoreboard. After this message, we'll be back with Coach Fulton.
I believe that the quality of education that I received at the Mobile County Public School system, I would give it an A+, excellent education. And I feel that they prepared me for my future career. I feel that I received not only the fund of knowledge that I need, but the social skills, communication skills that is needed to compete with any other student, not just in Mobile County particularly, but nationwide.
Nationwide, an average of 24 children die each year.
And another 17,000 are injured in bus-related accidents.
Many of these can be prevented. The safety of our children comes first.
For the safety of our future, obey all traffic laws related to school bus safety.
Hi, I'm Pat Mitchell, Director of Transportation for the Mobile County Public School System. We're asking you to obey all bus safety laws. It could save a life. Remember, stop ahead when you see red. Our future depends on it.
Welcome back to our first session. We have Coach Daniel Fulton, the varsity baseball coach at Bryant High School. Coach, appreciate you coming by today.
Thanks for having me.
Coach, I know you started out, you was a great high school player at Murphy High School, went on and played college ball. You want to tell us a little bit about your teaching career up to this point?
Well, I started off at Baker for a year, and then the big round of budget cuts back in 2007 got me, so I went back and got my master's degree. And I got hired on at Blunt and coached at UMS right at the time. And then I've been at Bryant for 4 years.
Been at Bryant 4 years, and I believe you're teaching driver's ed?
Driver's ed and career prep right now.
Yeah, driver's ed is a great job, isn't it?
It's the best job in the world.
It sure is. Coach, you, of course, you coach football and this year, and also the varsity baseball coach. This is your first year. You want to talk a little about the experience of being a first-year coach at Bryant, which is usually, you know, has a great tradition down there.
It's a lot different being a head coach. The coaching aspect is taking me away from a lot of the coaching, having to do all the administrative stuff. But as the season has gotten going, I've been able to get back out there more and do more of the coaching. It's just been a big change for me, not being as hands-on as I've usually been.
You know, it's interesting you bring that point up. We talked to a lot of people wait for that head coaching job, and then after they do it a couple of years, they go back and say, you know, I wish I could just take my group and go down to the corner and work with them, because, you know, they don't realize that the administrative part, keeping up the kids' grades, you know, making sure the field's ready. I mean, it's a lot of extra work, and it does take away from your coaching aspect of it. But I'm sure you're doing a good job adjusting to it. It's been a tough season for you. You want to talk a little bit about it?
We're 1-7 right now. We've actually led every game except for 2 of them, and we just made a lot of errors, and we're finding ways to lose instead of creating ways to win games right now. But we're right there. I've told the guys that the only games that matter are the area games. So
That's right.
as long as we're improving every game until then, I really like our chances.
Coach, do you think once it starts going bad, it's kind of hard to get over that hump, isn't it?
Well, it's like you just kind of wait around for something bad to happen, and it usually always does. You know, and we're losing games when the ball's popping out of our glove, when you take 100 fly balls in practice and it never happens. You know, It's like something bad may happen.
Right.
We just don't know when.
It's kind of a mindset, you know, and it's hard to overcome. But I'm sure as the season goes on, they'll adjust to it, because that community is rich in baseball tradition down there. It really is. Coach, you want to talk about some of your players this year?
We've got 9 seniors, which is a good thing, especially coming in and being the first-year head coach, getting those guys that I've been around for 3 years, and they kind of already knew my expectations. Right now, Kyle Chandler and Austin Bosarge are pretty much our leaders. Austin is coming back from the PRP on his elbow, and he's actually throwing the ball around 90 miles an hour right now, which is really good. And then Kyle is coming back from labrum surgery, so we hope to have him pitching hopefully by about mid-season. But Austin's already been offered by Alabama Southern, and there's a couple of schools really hard on Kyle. They're just kind of waiting to see how his arm's going to hold up.
Well, this part of the area, the south part of the state, there's a lot of Alma Bryant kids playing college ball.
It is. We're lucky.
You really have a lot of good kids down there. Talk a little bit about your area. Who's in your area?
Our area, I believe, is the worst one in the state. We have Baker, Theodore, Mary Montgomery, Davidson, and Bryant. So,
now, by worst, you mean the toughest, right?
Yeah. If you can get out of the area, then you have a chance to win the state championship. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's a lot of good teams, and all of them are good every year, aren't they?
Yes.
And is that 4 or 5 teams?
It's a five-team area. I think it may be the only one in the state for baseball.
That makes it even tougher. Talk a little bit about some of the tournaments you're playing in. I know baseball tournaments are big kind of this time of the year, but are you playing in any this year?
Well, we played in the Bay Bear tournament, which is a traditional tournament that everybody plays in, and then this past weekend we went up to the East Alabama Classic. We actually got to play Phoenix City.
And where was that at, Coach?
It was in Auburn. It was based out of Auburn,
Okay.
but we went to Phoenix City.
Okay.
And played Phoenix City and Beauregard on Friday night, and then turned around on Saturday and played Smith Station, who's the defending 7A state champs, and Opelika.
Coach, what is the advantage of going out of town and playing these out-of-town teams?
Well, the benefit of the entire schedule that we've had so far is everybody's been a playoff contender. And so, you know, yeah, we're 1-7, but we're playing teams that know how to win. And we're learning from every game from it. So I think once you know, area play starts, we'll be battle tested.
Battle tested, that's true. And I like that our teams do that. I think a lot of times our teams wind up playing one another 3, 4, and 5 times, and I think it's good that we play people, especially out of town. After this message, we'll be back with Miss Wallace.
The Mobile County Public Schools Signature Academies program offers a variety of specialized curriculum for highly interested and motivated students. These academies provide students with choices ranging from aviation to healthcare, advanced information technology to international studies, from engineering to coastal studies. These high-quality, hands-on programs prepare students for careers readily available in Mobile County. Signature Academies program. It starts with us.
Hi, I'm Martha Peak, Superintendent of Mobile County Public Schools.
And I'm Kay Ivey, your Lieutenant Governor.
We want to remind you to use caution while operating motor vehicles in school zones.
And remember to observe all traffic laws relating to school bus safety and stop ahead when you see red.
Protecting and keeping our children safe, it starts with us.
Hi, I'm Pat Mitchell, Transportation Director for the Mobile County Public School System. Remember, stop ahead when you see red.
Welcome back to our second segment. We've got Miss Megan Wallace, the softball coach at Bryant High School, and also you did volleyball, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm the assistant varsity coach
Assistant
for
volleyball.
volleyball.
Talk a little bit about it. Y'all had a pretty good volleyball season this year. Let's talk a
We
minute about
did.
that.
In volleyball, we made it to the super regionals. Unfortunately for us, we had to play McGill first
Oh,
round.
tough.
So it was tough, but it was really good for our girls because we're actually very junior heavy this year.
Oh, that's great.
So we have 5 starters coming back next year.
Oh, that'd
so
be
that'll be
great.
really good experience for them, getting all the way to the super regionals. And
That may be as far as Bryant's ever made it, isn't
it
it?
is. We now we've made it my first year there. So this is my 3rd year. So 2 years ago we made it to the super regionals.
Great.
And had to play Carver and Montgomery
So,
first
yeah,
round.
Y'all had very good luck that first draw.
Not very good luck with who we match up in that first round.
Well, that's great. Talk a little bit about your career up to this point, which hasn't been a very long career, but
It has not. I've only ever coached at Bryant. This is my 3rd year in the system altogether. My first year I spent as the assistant coach for Brent Easton. And then last year was my first year as head coach. And last year I also coached JV girls basketball to go along with being a varsity volleyball
so you're
coach.
at school all the time, aren't you?
All the time.
What's the biggest adjustment going from assistant to a head coach in softball?
The biggest part definitely is the relationship that you have between your girls. They're used to seeing you as the assistant coach, so you're always the one there that they vent to.
Right.
They're the ones that you're always going up to them, and you have that relationship with them from day one if you're an assistant coach. And then changing the mindset to now you're the head coach. Now they can't look at you the way they did before, and they really still want to. And you have to set that boundary really hard that, okay, I'm now the head coach. I can't be Miss Nice,
Right.
lady all the time.
The buck stops with you, huh?
Exactly, exactly.
Talk a little bit about your season so far up to this point.
Well, we actually started off really good. We won our first game of the season against UMS, really good team. And then we won the Robertsdale spring into the softball season tournament. We ended up winning 4 games 2 Saturdays ago to win that whole tournament and beating Baldwin County High School in the championship. And then this past weekend we went over to Gulfport, Mississippi, and played in the Mississippi Gulf Coast Classic and got to play some really good competition over there.
That's great.
Yes, sir.
That's great. Yeah, I like to see our teams travel and play.
Okay.
As I said with Coach Fulton, I think it does us a lot of good.
Oh, it does.
At the end. Talk a little bit about some of your players.
Well, this year I have 9 seniors as well, and I have a really good core group of 3 seniors: Terry Helton, Holly LaForce, and Shelby Thornsberry, who worked really hard in the off season, hitting wise and on their defense. I also have 5 seniors who signed college scholarships for next year. So
that's great.
Oh yeah, it's always really promising when you have girls going to the next level.
That gives the other kids something to dream about. I mean, I
Exactly.
can get a scholarship at Bryant High School because I mean it seems like we have them every year.
Oh yes. Sir.
Talk a little bit about your area now. Is it the same? Do you have 5 teams?
It's the same five-team area that baseball has, and it's very tough. Of course, we have Baker, the defending 7A state champions in our region, and then we have MGM, Theodore, and Davidson as well, and all have great programs every year. They all have really good coaches that build those good programs, and they're just able to reload year to year.
You said it right. They it seems like that they do reload, and every year it's even though they may graduate seniors, there's still kids coming.
Exactly.
Now, the park, do they have a park program down in your area?
We do. There's one in Grand Bay right now, and there's also the TAA over in Theodore and the one over in Westmobile that the girls will travel to. But it's still growing. It's still a growing park system out there.
Now, you mentioned travel ball. Do you have many that plays travel ball?
Yes, sir, I do. Every single one of my girls played travel ball. A lot of my freshmen didn't last year, or that are coming up from the middle schools. They haven't, but once they get to high school and they get on our level, we encourage them to start playing travel ball if they haven't already.
Now, I ask this question all the time. What's the pros and cons of travel ball?
Pros of it
Right now,
is,
maybe all pros or maybe all cons for you.
I was about to say, pros of it is that the girls get to play all year round. And that's really where they get recruited for the next level.
Right.
It's through their travel ball. The cons is sometimes you have other coaches, counter teaching what you've already taught. But for the most part, it's a lot of pros because it keeps the girls in shape all year round, and they're able to play softball all year round, which is always a good thing.
And I think the main thing is they get into play now. One of the complaints I heard is they never practice. They just play games and they never get to work on fundamentals.
The fundamentals, yes,
all.
sir.
So I guess where you come in, huh?
That's where I come in, exactly. I prepare them for those seasons.
Right.
But usually in a travel ball, you'll have maybe one practice a week, maybe two at the most, depending on which program you play with during the summers. But most of the time they are playing every weekend. And so you don't want to overload them in their summer.
Right.
At most, you might have one or two practices during the week.
Now, when they play the travel ball, is it locally or is it, do they actually go out of town a lot?
Oh, I have girls that go out of town a whole lot. Just this past summer, I had a few girls going all the way to Missouri, Virginia, Oklahoma. So it just depends upon what level your travel ball team is at and, well, how willing they are to travel.
Right.
I know myself as a travel ball player, we traveled all over the country. So it really has expanded to basically however far you want to travel, you can.
You can. Now, do you have a lot of kids that play volleyball and softball?
Not as many as I'd like. I only had one of my seniors this year is a multi-sport athlete, Kaylee Pattison. She played volleyball, basketball, and she plays softball. Wow. But we're seeing less and less of the multi-sport athletes, unfortunately, which I'm sure every coach will tell you they love having multi-sport athletes because they're diverse in everything that they do, and they're honestly, they're more prepared and they're more in shape when they get to your season. And you rarely ever see a multi-sport athlete getting burnt out on one sport.
Right.
So.
And I guess, but it's hard to be a multi-athlete when you're playing travel ball all year.
Exactly. Yeah. When you're trying to focus on one sport and get recruited for that one sport, it definitely is harder to be a multi-sport athlete.
Well, that's good. All right, well, we're going to take a break and bring Coach Fulton back, and after this match, we'll be back for our last segment.
Murphy High School played a big part of me getting to the next level, getting to college. I took honors classes here just to, have that extra boost. From the University of South Carolina, it helped me tremendously. I played football there for 3 years and decided to go pro after my junior year. I think just the stuff that helped me at the Murphy High School helped me carry on to the University of South Carolina. Now I'm playing my 7th season in the NFL.
The Environmental Studies Center is a natural sciences education facility designed to provide unique learning experiences. In addition, wildlife rehabilitation plays a vital role each day at the center. Featuring more than 500 acres of rich woodlands, the center affords teachers, students, and the general public an opportunity to experience firsthand the natural environment. Environmental Studies Center. It starts with us in the Mobile County Public Schools.
Mobile County Public Schools has equipped its students to achieve more than $96 million in college scholarships. These work-ready certificates include dual enrollment college credit, construction, certified nursing assistant, Microsoft Office specialist, welding, and the list goes on. Striving to graduate students to be college and career ready. Higher learning, growth, and development. It starts with us.
All in together now, we can make it better, can we do it? We'll rope it up. Cause we know how to jump. We'll cut it down. Cause we know what to eat.
Moving a little and eating better every day can help make you and your child healthier. Search We Can to find out more.
Welcome back to our last segment. We've got Alma Bryant here, the baseball and softball coach. And Coach Fulton, I'll start with you. Talk a little about your off-season program.
Our off-season, we work out, well, in the preseason, we worked out 3 days a week in the mornings. We bring the varsity in at 6 o'clock in the morning and get them finished before school started. Then we will require them to eat breakfast in the cafeteria. And that way, really, after practice, they could go home, and we weren't there till 8 o'clock at night. So that was good.
Yeah, that makes a difference.
In the fall, we have the baseball class, and they work out from August till December. So we're pretty fortunate down there.
Well, that's good. Ms. Wallace, what about your off season? Of course, they play travel ball.
Of course, they play travel ball. We are fortunate enough to have a girls weightlifting class during the fall. Coach Lonnie Rollins runs that for us out there, and so all my girls are, if they're not in another sport, they are lifting and getting conditioning throughout the school day. That way, all that's taken care of while I'm focusing on volleyball.
You relatively young, well, you are young, and it's gotten to a point where you just about have to lift weights now, even the females. Don't
Exactly. You? Yes, sir. And it's really it gives them that core strength that has always been preached to guys, and it's starting to come along to where you always see girls nowadays lifting, and it started up in the college ranks and it's filtered down to us slowly, but it is a core value that all girls need to start doing the same thing that guys are, because after all, they are athletes.
Right. And I guess when they first come in as freshmen, most of them have never lifted, so I imagine it's really crucial, and I'm sure Coach Rollins does a great job in technique.
He does. He does a great job. I think the first week and a half to 2 weeks, he's drilling in technique, because a lot of those girls have never lifted before.
Right.
You know, and their first thing is, I don't want to look like a guy. You know, so you have to really preach to them why you're doing it and how this is going to benefit them in the long run.
Coach Fulton, what about weightlifting and baseball? Tie it together for us.
Oh, in the fall, we really do a building type program. We do the percentages. We get up to 90% of their max. I really try to build muscle in the fall, and then in the spring we just try and maintain and kind of try to keep their muscles loose. But one of the things that people don't understand is you got to lift heavy. You know, there's been a significant difference in just our bodies this year. And you can tell now, because we're able to make that deep throw in the hole and make the throw from the outfield. And it's just a testament to how hard those guys work in the weight room. I couldn't ask for anything more than how hard they work in the weight room right now.
Now, when you say heavy, you mean more weight, working with more weight?
Well, we max them, and then we work off percentages.
Okay.
And we build every week. We start with 60% and work all the way up to 90, and then we'll start over. And then we'll remax them in October, and then go to December. So really, on average, we have about a 40% increase per person in their maxes, which you can't complain about that at all.
Now, Coach, will you have a different program for, say, your pitchers is throwing 90 and somebody that's just, you know, a regular position player? Now, will there be, are you pretty much, they all on the same?
In the fall, everybody does the same. In the spring, the pitchers they have kind of their own little routine, because they're running a lot more and they do a lot of more shoulder activities and stuff like that. And the position players, they just kind of lift to maintain.
And of course, you've had a couple of hurt, so you just have to ease them along, don't you?
Those guys have their own program that they do. I don't even really talk to them in the weight room. They just do whatever they want.
I understand that. Ms. Wallace, talk a little about your staff, the ones you've got helping you.
Well, actually, the head varsity volleyball coach is my assistant coach, Kelly Hargett. And then I have Zach Ward. He is my JV coach this year. He also coaches football at the high school, and both of them, Zach a little bit less so, but have been around the game for a while. Zach's been more around baseball rather than softball. And Kelly grew up playing softball and then had the opportunity to go play softball or volleyball in college, and she took the opportunity to play volleyball instead. But both of them are very eager to learn everything, and both of them really put the girls through their ranks and really stay hard on them, and it's helped out a whole lot.
Oh, you're very lucky because most of them are lucky to get one. You got a couple there.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, I'm very lucky to have two helping me out. I'd love to have more.
Yeah, I know. You never can have too
never
many.
Never can have too much help.
Coach Fulton, your staff?
We have Cody Martin, who went to Bryant, and Ricky Miller, who's been at Bryant since the doors opened. The good thing about Cody is we both played at the same junior college, so we're on the same page about everything. And then Coach Miller, just with him being around for so long, he does a great job of, when I start to get in a mood or whatever, of just calming me back down just because of the experience he has. And then Roger Jenkins and Brian Ladner do the JV, and Roger's got a ton of experience, and Brian actually played on the '97 state championship team in Grand Bay. So the experience, and the knowledge that we've got, we're very fortunate to have those guys.
And those guys have been in it a while too.
They have.
I guess Cody's been in it a while, and he's still young. So
yeah, he is. I'm just fortunate to have those guys.
Yes, it really is. Talk a little bit about, and either one of you can answer, talk about working at a community school. It's a lot different working out in a community school, and a lot of advantages to it, and may not be all advantages, but working in a community school, their involvement.
The good thing about it is the kids that go to Grand Bay and go to Alba are pretty much coming to Bryant. So we're able to go down there and establish the relationship with those kids and their parents at an earlier age than, like for say Murphy, when they come from everywhere.
Yeah, 5 feeders, I think.
And so
good point.
We're trying to do a better job of getting those kids to stay around. But we just got to be down at the middle schools more.
Yeah, even down in the elementary schools, those kids should grow up wanting to be a hurricane.
That's right.
And a lot of times we let some of them get away, but we've got to, just work harder and trying to keep these kids. And y'all's facilities is just some of the best around. If we can get that field house up and going like it should be. So, but anyway. Well, I appreciate y'all coming on, and it's good to see young people come in and take over programs and do a wonderful job, and y'all are good role models and systems. Lucky to have y'all. But thank y'all for coming by today.
Thanks for having us.
I'd like to thank you for watching, and we will see you next week.